technique is a little easier, little faster, but I think it looks a bit more marbled than tie-dye. I still like it a lot though. I really just put some dollops of colored icing on there and smeared it around. And you can't do too many colors or they blend together in a not so good way. But there they both are. Tell me which one's better. What do you think? Alright, so I saw this cute little doodle drawing of a cake online, and I thought it would be fun to try to recreate it on a cookie cake. I've never been the best at drawing, and drawing on a cake is even harder, but it always helps when I can look at something and use it as a guide, so that's what I did with the little picture. Plus, it is a pretty simple doodle, so my hopes were high. Of course, I had to base ice the whole thing in white so I would have a nice clean background, and I know that the thought of this much icing on a cookie cake is disgusting to some people, and other people love it and want as much icing as possible. I've honestly never eaten a cookie cake, so the jury's still out for me, but if I had to guess, I'd probably be on Team Frosting. Anyway, once I had completely drawn on my cake structure, it was time to just add the finer details like this candle, and I know that the drawing didn't have any sprinkles on it, but I just feel like it added a little extra something. But if you think it was better without it, let me know. But okay, here is the drawing to refresh your memories, and then here it is on a cookie cake. What do you think?
¿Cuál cuento?
Mi amor, llegué tempranísimo y tú estabas durmiendo. Y para yo no levantarte y dejarte descansar, mejor te dejé que siguiera durmiendo.
No, señor.
No,
Nicole.
bonita hora de tú llegar.
Ajá, mujer, ahora fue que se acabó la fiesta, ¿eh?
Ahora fue que se acabó la fiesta, ¿eh? Tan tarde, una fiesta nada más de hombres.
Sí, de hombre, Nicole.
¿Cuántas mujeres habían?
Ni una mujer.
Daniel, dime la verdad, que yo no soy idiota. ¿Cuántas mujeres habían en la fiesta?
Que ahí no había mujeres, Nicole.
Te estoy diciendo que me diga, ¿oíste? ¿Cuántas mujeres habían en la fiesta?
Eso era puro hombre.
Puro hombre. ¿Qué cuento es tuyo?
Eso
Dije
no
que habían
cuento.
puro hombre.
Eso no es cuento, mujer.
Daniel, yo soy más inteligente que tú.
Eso era puro hombre, hombre.
Puro hombre.
Claro que sí, me voy a acostar.
Ah, ¿te va a dormir?
Claro que sí,
¿Y
mujer.
no quiere pechuga?
No, mañana, hoy no, Nicole.
Ah, hoy no quiere pechuga. ¿Está cansado?
¿Cansado de qué?
Comiste mucha pechuga en la calle porque está cansado, que no quiere la mía
No,
ahora.
señor. Buen hombre.
Parece ser que comiste mucha pechuga en la calle que ahora no quiere la mía.
Nicole, deja de estar metiendo vaina donde no hay.
Metiendo vaina donde no hay.
Porque
¿por qué tú no quieres pechuga hoy?
to do the basket in white because
Estás
I would
harto.
look pretty, and
Comiste mucha
again,
pechuga en
I
la
was being
calle.
a lazy bone, and I didn't want to mix a tannish
Tú
brown
piensas que yo soy
color.
como que
Would a tan
pendeja,
basket have looked
Ya,
better?
Nicole,
I don't
déjame
know,
dormir, por
maybe,
favor.
but this is what we got.
Pero déjame
There's also a
decirte, mi
few different
amor,
ways you can
que
type
cuando
the
tú ibas, ya
sunflower
yo
and
venía
different
hace
tips you
rápido
can
hace
use to get
tiempo.
different
¿Y qué es lo que
looks.
tú me quieres decir
But
con
I think
eso,
this one was my
mujer?
favorite. At
¿Tú te
least
acuerdas
I'm
cuando yo
the
salía
one
con las
making
amigas
them.
mías
So the
para la
cake was
fiesta,
pretty
donde
simple,
solamente
just a
eran
few
de que de
sunflowers
mujeres?
in a basket with some leaves,
Que yo te
and then
decía a
moved
ti
on
que
to
nada
the
más había
cupcakes.
mujeres, que ahí no había
I
hombres
really
por
like
ningún
this
lado.
piping
Sí,
tip
yo me
hack, so I
acuerdo,
can mark the
Nicole.
center of
Pues
my
ahí había
flower and use it as
muchísimos
a
hombres.
guide, so I can
Ay.
Y
exactly
de
where
todo
to put my
calibre, mi
petals, or
amor.
else I
Como
can
tú
tend
lo
to make them a
quisieras,
little bit
habían
wonky.
ahí.
Mira,
Para que tú
Nicole.
sepas.
I just had to
En
stick
esa
them down
fiesta
in my
había
cake board
cualquier
with a
tipo
little
de
bit of
hombre.
icing, and that was it.
Como
What
yo
do you
lo
guys
quisiera,
think?
ahí lo tenía de
Pues
una.
mira, te voy a decir algo a ti,
¿Qué lo haces tú a
mujer.
mí?
Because most
En
all
esa
of the cake
fiesta,
videos
¿Qué
that
pasó
you
en la
see on
fiesta?
the
había
web
muchas
are
mujeres.
really
¡Ah,
set
yo
Nada más
está
de las
viendo!
hombres.
It might
Nada
be
más.
a
Había
little
muchas
bit
mujeres,
slower of a
Nicole.
process than you would
Ve
think.
cómo te
I
quedó el
know
ojo a
me
ti ahora,
personally, I
mujer.
usually
A mí
speed
me
up my
quedó igualito
videos
porque yo te tiré a ti
to
un
around
gancho.
5 times
Wi-Fi.
speed.
Y mira
So
cómo
this
tú
still
estás ahí.
seems really slow
¿Cuál
for me
gancho?
too. And I will
Ninguno,
say
mi
this
amor.
cake took me
Yo
about
te
6
metí un
minutes
gancho,
just to
pues.
decorate, and it was
Pero
on a
déjame
day where I
contarte
wasn't
algo.
super busy, so I was
Hey.
able to take my time a little
Te
bit
me va.
more. If
¿A
I was in a
dónde?
rush, I
No
think
sé
I
pa'
could
dónde,
shave a
pero
couple
te me
minutes
va.
off the time.
Mira,
And this is a
Nicole.
design
Mira,
that I started
pendejo,
to do
dale, vete
cute
por
on
aquí, a mí no me
Fair
hable
Work.
más.
It's simple and
Coño,
it goes
hombre.
always
¡Qué buen
well,
hombre!
so I
Y
like
mi
to keep it
pechuga no te la voy a
noticeable.
comer
I
más.
feel like this writing
Buen
looks
hombre.
extra slow,
Buena
like it looks
mujer.
like I'm doing it in
Oye,
slow
este,
motion,
buen hombre,
but this
tan
is
rápido
just
que
how
cayó en
long
el
it takes.
gancho, pendejo.
And it is one of the most
Pero
time-consuming
no
parts of
importa, yo no
decorating,
hice
at
nada,
least for
Nicole.
me.
Aunque había
Especially
mujeres
this font.
ahí.
Y si
Each
tú no
letter
hiciste
is
nada,
spaced
porque tú me lo
out.
estás escondiendo.
Cursive is a lot faster, I will say.
Porque
But
yo
if
sé
you've
cómo
made it
tú
this far,
eres.
let me know
Pero
if
que
you
tú no
think this
tienes ni que
real-time
esconderme
piping
nada,
is
mi amor.
boring
Si
or
tú no hiciste
relaxing.
nada malo, tú no
Okay,
tienes por qué
bye.
hablarme mi mentira.
Today I am making a super cute
Pero
little
ya,
scarecrow cake
perdóname.
because
No,
'tis
ningún
the
perdón porque me fue
season
mentira.
for
Váyase a ver mi
scarecrows,
pelueño.
apparently. Someone's got to watch over
Esto
those
fue
cornflakes.
Telaima,
So,
Dios
thank
mío.
you,
Oye,
Sprinkles. To
este.
start this baby
Y
off,
una
I
vez cayó en
rounded
el
the
gancho y
top
pensaba que
edge
se
of my cake
pendeja,
and I smoothed it all out and I left the top bare because that's where his
De verdad
hat was
me
gonna
muero.
go. And for his hat, I used chocolate buttercream, and I'm warning you now, some of you guys are gonna hate this part because I use a lot of icing. But sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do to get the look, okay? And I needed a nice, tall, pointy hat. And if there is too much icing, you can always just scrape it off before you eat it. It's not against the law. But I did use a lot of icing for the hat. I don't know if anyone's just gonna bite right into it. It's a lot. I'm assuming it will be scraped. Anyway, once the hat was all taken care of, I just needed to pipe on a simple little scarecrow base, and I used fudge icing for this part. And then to fill up the rest of my cake board, I did these simple little pumpkins, and I piped on some twisty vines, leaves, and stems, and that was it. What do you think of this little scarecrow? I love when people give cakes as a thank you because who doesn't love a thank you card you can eat? And this one seems really sweet because the woman who ordered it got it for some caregivers. And I wish I got more backstory because I don't know if these are caregivers in a facility or in home, if it's a surprise or what, but it's just a really nice thing to do regardless. Now for the cake, she wanted it chocolate, and for the decorations, all she said was some hearts, maybe in red, and thank you caregivers written on it. So I did red hearts on the side and chocolate hearts on the top. But looking back, I kind of wish I alternated red and chocolate hearts on the top. But what can you do? Hindsight's 2020. I hope they loved it. Okay, bye. I've never tried making a cake like this before, and I've also never smoothed a cake so much in my entire life. So this is a shaped cake, and here I am cutting off pieces of my cake, trying to, shape it. And that is like a whole new cake decorating world for me. I've never shaped a cake really before. I've rounded off the top edge, but that was it. So I was a little cautious going into this, but also a little excited to try something different. So I'm sure you can't tell, but this is eventually going to be a baseball for an order. And the majority of my decorating time was really just spent trying to get this thing to look like a ball. I would smooth it all out and then go back and add more icing to the top because I just needed more roundness and height up there, and it did help me achieve that. And then I just smoothed and smoothed and smoothed. Baseball decorations are pretty simple. It's really just stitches, so I looked up a picture of what those looked like and tried to replicate it. Each side of the stitch and the arrow is kind of offset a little bit, so I tried to show that. I knew I wanted to add some grass, and I think that pulled it together a lot. But the customers were really happy with it, so I was really happy, but let me know what you guys think. I like doing cupcake cakes because, for one, it's fun to say, and for two, they're fun to make. And this one is pretty simple, which I also like. So, we are making a football field. I'm adding all these little nonpareils to try to look like the tiny little people in the crowd. I already know that some of you guys are going to hate that I added those because I've gotten comments in the past that some of you hate eating these kinds of sprinkles. And maybe I'm weird, but I kind of like them. I like a little bit of crunch in my cake. You get some different textures going on. I don't know. It's fun. Either way, it was necessary for my design purposes today. I also wish I had some kind of goalpost toppers. I feel like that always helps pull the football field look together, but I didn't. So, like I said, it's a pretty simple cake. But once I had my field in place, I just had to write my happy birthday message, and I decided to write the happy and birthday in the end zone areas just to kind of fill that space up a little bit more. And when the woman came to pick it up, she was really happy with it, and I always love to hear that, but let me know what you guys think. This is one of my absolute favorite cakes to make in the bakery for the sole fact that it is just so easy and fast, and sometimes you just really appreciate that in the bakery. So right now I'm filling it with our Vienna custard, which I actually don't like very much. It's not my favorite, if I'm going to be honest. But once you put it all together with the rest of the cake, it's not bad. But then I just popped the lid back on this thing and it's time for fudge. I decided to leave this video real-time speed because this cake literally only took me 2 minutes to make, so...
Me voy ya, Nicole!
Daniel, no te vayas, por favor, no me dejes
about 6 of these cakes at a time, and it just feels like a breeze.
Me voy ya, Nicole! Yo aquí no puedo estar aguantando, mujer!
Another kind of these Boston cream cakes.
Daniel, no te vayas, por favor, no me dejes sola, no te vayas.
That's another one of my favorites because it's also...
Yo me voy a ir de aquí, hombre! Es que tú peleas demasiado también!
I just grabbed my offset spatula and I did the old spiral drag. Gives it that extra little pizzazz. Then you just pop a cherry on top because cherries make everything better, and boom, it's done. It's pie season, y'all, so I am making a cake inspired by pies. So this cake is one of the ones
Déjale estar bebiendo, Nicole.
I'm gonna make each cupcake an individual pie.
Pero tú estás embarazada, mujer.
¿Embarazada? ¿Quién está embarazada?
Tú estás embarazada, mi amor.
I tried to emulate it as best I could, but
sí, embarazada.
I kind of wish I had gone with like a chocolate pie or something different instead. But these cupcakes are a little more fun. This one's pumpkin pie.
Esto nunca se había visto en la vida real.
To go around the cake, so I'm gonna do 3 different pie flavors. And I had so much fun making these. They're so cute, and I am a pie person. I think my favorites are apple or pecan, probably pecan, but not pumpkin. Don't even bother giving me a slice of pumpkin. It just doesn't do it for me. But anyway, my third cupcake pie was cherry, and here they all are, ready to go on my cake board. And I just used a dab of frosting to stick them down and keep them from sliding about, and that was it. This is them. What do you guys think? What's your favorite? Sunflower cakes are really big right now. It's the season for it, but apparently not the season for it. I don't know. Someone commented on one of my recent videos and said that sunflower season is not right now. It's like August or something. I don't know. I didn't fact check it, but it seemed like they knew what they were talking about. I think they're popular during fall because that goldish yellow is just a nice fall color and it complements other fall colors nicely, but that's just my hypothesis. Sunflower experts, if you're out there, fill me in. Anyway, pointless sunflower talk aside, this customer requested them for this order. So I got the inspiration for this cake off of Pinterest, and little known fact, I actually do not like piping flowers. I don't know what it is about them. I can't be bothered. So like